The reason that we are here, that's in the first place, of course, that we all have enormous sorrows about our friends in Liberty Camp. That's one of the reasons that we organized here this meeting, to ask the attention of our political friends here in the Netherlands, but also in Europe, to have an active position to save the lives of the people in Liberty Camp. Liberty Camp is not a very important point to set that on the political agenda here in Europe. That's a very concrete point.
But we have managed in the United States to finally delist this terror label off the MEK, and finally the people in Camp Ashraf and now in Liberty need to be recognized by the United Nations and the United States as the refugees that they are, and treated with dignity and respect and human rights, because that's what they deserve. But we are here tonight, and you are going to hear from Colonel Martin, who will tell you how right now the United Nations and the United States still make it impossible for the people of Camp Liberty to live free and safe. They are a refugee camp treated like a concentration camp. They are living in intolerable situation, being denied their medications, denied access for those who are physically disabled, denied water and electricity in some cases. So tonight we want a message to go out here in The Hague that we expect the United Nations to uphold its charter, to protect the people of Camp Liberty and make sure they are afforded all the human dignity that they deserve as asylum seekers. So we are going to send a message to Nouri al-Maliki to back off and make sure that you know that if you don't do the right thing, someday, thanks to those in Spain who have issued the war crimes indictment on Nouri al-Maliki for his attacks on Ashraf, we might bring you, Nouri al-Maliki, right here to The Hague and try you for war crimes tribunals.
Dear friends, I would also take the opportunity to underscore the necessity for active intervention of the United States and the European Union with regards to the situation of members of opposition in Ashraf and Liberty. Their current situation in which they are deprived of humanitarian and human rights standards is the result of Western powers' appeasement of the religious fascism ruling Iran and its puppet government in Iraq. With their silence and inaction, they have practically allowed the mullahs' suppression and crimes against members of the opposition to continue. Therefore, Liberty residents are at present deprived of their minimum legal rights, despite the fact that they are protected persons under the 4th Geneva Convention and have been recognized as asylum seekers and people of concerns by the UNHCR. Unfortunately, the United Nations has not fulfilled its legal obligations towards the residents either. More regretful is that in practice, the special representative of the UN Secretary General also stands on the side of the Iraqi government. I call on the United States and the EU member states, such as the Dutch government, to compel the Iraqi government to stop breaching legal and human rights of the Liberty and Ashraf residents, and to urge the UN to announce Camp Liberty as a refugee camp in order to facilitate the residents' resettlement.
The U.S. and UN downplayed the 2009-2011 attacks. They pretended, Ambassador Kobler specifically, that Liberty was a very fit place to live. It is not. I lived at Liberty when I worked in detention operations. Yes, then it was very fit. But once the Americans left, the camp was looted by the Iraqi military. Property was destroyed by the Iraqi military. And the weather deteriorated the seals in the black water tankers and a whole bunch of other things. Nobody has done anything to remove Colonel Sadiq from Liberty. They are denied water, medicines, constantly under torment, constantly under psychological operation, constantly under threats of arrest. The generators were denied entry into the camp. Damaged spare parts were denied to come down when finally the State Department engaged and did get the generators in.
Now, after the right to life and freedom is the right to property that is denied to the residents of Ashraf. Iraqi authorities are interfering in the ownership transfer, ignoring even that the internal law of Iraq states, quote, that the person who has actual possession thereof will be deemed to be the possessor until proof to the contrary has been adduced. Is this then disturbing that the United Nations mission under its current head practically ignores also the right to property under the rule of law? It is time that some state, some government ask the Secretary General to set up an independent commission to investigate the non-respect of international law changes operated in UNAMI since the departure of Mr. Melkert. The residents of Camp Liberty now are asylum seekers and refugees. Therefore, the government of Iraq, the United Nations Commissioner for Refugees, must intervene and declare Camp Liberty a refugee camp to make sure that their rights are respected, their freedom of movement for an end to the sanctions imposed, and for the entry of life commodity into Camp Liberty. Thank you very much.